Well, we're joined now on the sofa by Ceri Menai-Davis, who founded the charity It's Never You after losing his 6-year-old son Hugh in 2021. Good morning to you, Ceri.
Morning.
Thank you so much for coming in. And we should just explain, because it's a lovely tribute, the jacket you're wearing, Hugh's name there, just above your heart. And just explain what else we're seeing.
Yeah, so we've done a few things for charity, and I put myself up mountains and run marathons and things, and I thought, how can we take the children with us? Because so often they're just in the hospital beds and the parents are sort of just watching them and everyone else getting on with things. And I thought, well, let's take them with us. So this April, I ran the London Marathon with a cape on, and I think I had 200 names at that time on there. And these are children that are fought, that are currently fighting and sadly passed away, some of them, from cancer. And then we went Ben Nevis with some of the parents, and I raised a flag with all the names on. Now, this has built momentum. Now we've got over 300 names, and on my back there's even more. So today when we go to Downing Street, we're taking the kids, or the power of the kids, with us. Tell us about Hugh, then. Well, I just saw the VT before I came in. He's just, just the most beautiful boy. A couple of days ago, the 30th of August, would have been his 9th birthday. He was born on my first wedding anniversary, so he's kind of shadowed that a bit. But it was our 10th anniversary just gone on Friday. But yeah, he was amazing. And you know, I know lockdown was so hard for people, but for us, just before we got diagnosed, it was a blessing, because I got to spend. If someone said you can spend 3 months with your children, just playing with them every day and being with them every day, it was the most amazing experience. But yeah, sadly, Hugh fell ill just after the first lockdown in October. But you know, we thought we did everything as a blueprint as parents could, and you know, sometimes you're just unlucky, I guess.
Well, we're so sorry to hear about him. He looks like a lovely lad in all the pictures that you've brought in to show us all. And you now want to sort of help other families, don't you? Because the challenges that treatment puts, not just on the child who's sick, but on the whole family unit, on the whole household. Yeah, I mean, it's not one of those things that you can talk about unless you've experienced it, and that's the difficulty with all this. It's a taboo subject as well, children's cancer and children not being well. And you know, people will probably be watching this and turn the TV off because it's not what they want to hear in the morning. But it does happen. Unfortunately, there's 10 children a day that are told that they're going to have to spend 2 months or more in hospital. And sadly, some of those parents are told that the child has cancer, like my wife was back in October 2020. But there is nothing in place to support you. There's support if you bring a child into the world. You can get maternity pay, paternity pay. You're supported by an abundance of mental health support, by NCT groups and things. But sadly, if you have a child that's chronically ill or sadly terminally ill, there's nothing, and we felt that wasn't right. So from the moment that your child is told that they're ill, well, you have to leave work immediately. One of you has to be the caregiver, so one of you has to be by their bedside in hospital. There is no going about. You have to be there, and if you're a 5-year-old, you just want your mum, your daddy next to you all the time, and that's what we found, that's what everyone else finds. But if you're self-employed or you're employed, the onus is put on the employers to be compassionate, but there's no other law put in place for these parents, and that's the thing that we're fighting for. We want sort of day one recognition that, you know, financial help is needed, because the current setup is you have to wait nearly 5-6 months for things.
So you're going through an unimaginably stressful time, and on top of that, there are financial stresses that some people might not even have thought about.
No. So, you know, if you're having to press pause on your life, imagine how you're going to pay that bill at the end of the month, especially if it's your middle of the month, you've got jobs lined up and you're self-employed, and you know that you live from pocket to, or bank account to pocket to mortgage, and you need to get that money through, and you've got 2 jobs lined up, but you've just been told your child's got cancer. What are you going to do? There's no precedent in place that you can actually put a pause on your mortgage, you can get money in, and that's the thing that we're fighting for. Why should parents have to make a decision or a choice between going to work or looking after their child? And that's what we're really fighting for. And it's all those extra costs as well. Like if you're going to the hospital every day, you're basically driving in and out, parking, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's huge, especially where we are in Hertford. The nearest hospital to us is Addenbrooke's, so we're actually equidistant from Addenbrooke's and Great Ormond Street. So, for example, when Hugh was having radiotherapy, he had to have 16 sessions in a row, and that's a 100-mile round trip every day, which we had to fund, plus the parking. And then it's not just the case of that, is that children who have chemotherapy, like, they just want to eat when they want to eat. And to be fair, you know, if you would have said to me, Daddy, I want some Mars rock to eat, or something like that, I would have found a way to get to Elon Musk and go to Mars and tried to get money for it. But you do anything, and it's just that added cost. And say, for research, they say between £750 to £1,000 a month incurred costs for looking after a child. Things you don't think about, for example, like the energy cap's coming soon, and we know, for example, you've got to heat your house. To have a child that's neutropenic or no immune system, your house has to be warm, so you've got to constantly heat the house. And then for us with Hugh, like he had an NG line, which is feeding nose tube, and we had to feed him through the night. So you think of the electricity for 8 hours, you're not putting a feeding pump on. And all these sorts of things just add up. But like I say, they're coming out of a bank account that's already depleted, and we're just asking them to just top it up a bit so they don't have to worry about it.
We're talking this morning, as you head to Parliament to try and persuade MPs to do this. MPs are going back to Parliament and they're facing all kinds of problems, we know, with the national finances. The government say that there is help available, things like the disability living allowance, the carers allowance, universal credit. What do you say to Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor, if she's watching this morning?
I'm not saying it because it never happened to her, hopefully never happened to her, but try sitting next to your child's bedside and watching the money dwindle away and then watch what's coming after. Because DLA, and you get the responses, DLA you have to only apply 3 months post-diagnosis. So you have to wait 3 months before you can even hand the letter in to ask for it. And then it takes 3 months coming after that. And that's the only immediate financial help that you can get. If you're on the low-income scheme already, you've got things available. But if you're just doing to work every day and self-employed, there is literally zero available. And those things aren't there to help you immediately. And we understand there are things available in the future, DLA, carers allowance, PIP when they're older, but nothing in the first 3 months, which is horrendous and just mentally exhausting as well for parents. Like, the worst thing you can do is worry about, well, how am I going to afford this taxi ride today to take them to hospital?
Ceri, we wish you all the best for today. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.